All right, my friends, let's not waste any time. You saw that thumbnail. You know what you signed up for. This is the ultimate Spidey showdown. Are your spider senses tingling? They should be, because it's about to go down. Tobey Maguire versus Andrew Garfield versus Tom Holland. Let's go to Tiermaker right now. All right, guys, first up, we have Spider-Man 1, the original, the OG. Tobey Maguire kicking off the whole series. Where does it belong? If you say anything less than S, I'm going to slap you in the face. That's what S stands for. Slap you in the face good. This is where we saw William Dafoe become the Green Goblin, one of the best villains that we've ever seen. There's a reason they brought him back in the most recent Spider-Man. It's because he was that good. Next up, we have Spider-Man 2, which also means Spider-Man 2. This is where we get Doc Ock, great villain, also one that they bring back in the most recent Spider-Man. Is it as good as Spider-Man 1 though? I'm gonna give this one a big fat yes. Yes, it is. There's a reason they brought back Doc Ock. This is a great film, great villain. The way they developed the villain, everything flowed well, which is why I think it deserves to be in the S tier. Next up, we have Spider-Man 3. Now, Spider-Man 3, I think this is one we all kind of turned a blind eye to. It's not an F. It's not a D. It's a solid C. The reason I'm putting it in the C tier is because I think this suffers from what I call cartoon villain syndrome. If you've seen some of my past reviews, you know I'm very against cartoon villain syndrome. And eventually the Sandman just becomes this big old glob of sand that is kind of just a lame villain. In the most recent movie, I think they did a little bit more justice with him, but I think at the time with the animation, it just looked cheesy, it looked fake, it looked really bad. And so I think that's why I'm gonna put this one in the C tier. Now we're jumping over to our boy, Andrew Garfield. He is known as the Amazing Spider-Man. Is he more amazing than Tobey Maguire? Hell no. First movie, a solid If I could put it somewhere in between D and F, maybe have an E for I would put it there. But I'm going to give this one D. Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is where Jamie Foxx comes into play. They're like, hey, we need to spend more money on bigger name actors. We need to spend a little to make a little. However, I don't think it holds up to the level of the S tier. I'm going to give The Amazing Spider-Man a B. Spider-Man Homecoming. This is where we get our boy Tom Holland. He kicks things off right with Michael Keaton as a great villain. Personally, I think if I had to rate this without knowing where this series goes, at the time, I would have put it in the S tier. The only reason I'm not putting it in S tier is because Tom Holland's movies get better after that. Putting Spider-Man Homecoming in the A category. Next up, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. This is where Mysterio is the villain. I thought this one was great, and I think this kind of goes with the same theme as the last one. The only reason I'm not putting it into the S tier is because the most recent movie was that good. So in case you couldn't catch the hints, this most recent Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, is definitely in the S tier. At the time of recording this, it has made over $1 billion, which means the people like it. So let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like some should have been higher, some should have been lower? Comment below why you think that is. Right now, if your spidey sense is tingling in your finger, it's because it wants you to click that like button and subscribe. And if it's not tingling, that's okay. I will see you in the next one.